Hello, welcome to Top of the World. What's our weather like? Well, you can see we've got a yard. We've still got snow everywhere, but we have got gravel on the yard. Now this is a video I never thought I was going to make. And it's been a long time coming. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of why, fors and wheres, but I did manage to do a deal. Something I've been working on now for quite some time. So the one thing that I'm missing in my life, right, is the one thing that stops me from hurting myself continuously, from giving myself hernias, from ripping my inside organs apart and smashing my back to pieces. And that's a forest trailer with a crane, so I can lift these ruddy great trees up, cut them and put them on a trailer and bring them back to the yard. But it isn't just a trailer, because if I have just a trailer, it means I've got to borrow a tractor. That's never a good thing. So that means I'm into some kind of forwarder, or a tractor and trailer. How have I done that? How have I done that? I'm not really sure. So let me tell you about it. That's a Volvo 2254 four-wheel drive. It's got the same as the 700 turbo engine in it. Hydrostatic gearbox, hydrostatic steering. On the back of it is a Patu all-gripping 420 forest trailer. This morning I dragged that tractor out of the trees where it's been sat for a few years, and the trailer has not been used for a few years. Belongs to a man in the village. There's a few men in the village that have got forest trailers. Just didn't want to deal with me. But I've known about this pairing for some time. An unusual set of circumstances came about that's allowed me to be able to acquire such an amazing piece of equipment. Are they new? No. Tractor's 1980. And the trailer I think might be a late 80s, early 90s. They've got incredibly low hours. I mean, that tractor from new, has done under 1,000 hours a year if it was to run every year. So that tells you how incredibly low they are. Now it comes from a man that he doesn't service anything or look after anything. Is there work to do on it? Yes. Does it have any brakes? No, it doesn't. I just pray for a tractor that has brakes. Did it run here all right? Yeah, it ran here all right. I'm going to show you around it now. Right, Bollinger Monk 2 engine, turbocharged, Volvo, four-wheel drive. I'd never even seen one of these before. Look at that axle. Look at it. Now it has had a new alternator on it. Right. I know that was put on last year because it didn't run for a few years, and they managed to get it running a year ago. And we have severely dry cracked tyres. Severely dry cracked tyres. It's got absolutely everything it should have. And like I say, I took it out the trees this morning. I then had to manoeuvre it in the small yard over all the ice and snow, hook up this trailer, which they told me weren't going to come out. No, it was coming with me. This is a Patu, all gripping, 420. 9 tonnes. That'll carry. Tyres are quite good. Tyres on the tractor have not been changed from new. Tyres on the trailer have not been changed from new, but they've got grip and they're not so badly cracked. There are issues with the hoses, you can see, it's been sat for a long time. Oh, we've got the manufacturer's plate on the back. It comes with moss and everything. Manufacturer's plate on the back. don't tell me nothing. Sassy numbers and stuff. And it's not too bad. I think there should be a light up here somewhere. It's got rust, right, but nothing too bad. It's got, well, I wouldn't like to say the last time the oil filter was changed, right? Or the diesel filters. So we've got to do a full service on this and check it all out, because like I say, he's not a man for servicing. It does look like it's got a new steering hose on it. It also looks like there is a leak there. Right, so I'm not quite sure where the leak's coming from. We need to investigate that with some urgency. All of this is quite urgent because I have to put this to work. You've seen all those trees that I got laying down. That's quite some distance here. Now my original idea was to put the tractor on my trailer. We're driving it. It's too heavy. So I can't remember what this weighs. 78,000 pounds. Yeah, I can. That is 3.3 tonnes. That's what this weighs, without the trailer and without me. So the Bollinger Monk engine, you know, I've got quite used to working on these here. I've done a few now. The cab is in really good condition. Everything's supposed to be there. The catch is missing off the window, I notice. This mirror here is missing. There's a few things missing, but it's just, you know, little things I can do. There's a heating vent there, so we're assuming this has got heat. It should do, according to specification. And I've just driven it, I don't know, a mile or so, and it runs real nice. At the back here, underneath these, of course, are PTOs. These are just PTO covers. It's got a 3-link. It's got all the hydraulics it should have. It's pretty much got everything that it should have. And then this. Do I know how to run this? No? No, I don't. But there's however many that is, 5 levers. How difficult can it be? And these levers look like they've got 4-way functions on them. So I'm assuming 2 shortest ones, like, let's make an assumption here, legs. Right, that should be left leg, right leg. Single one there. Oh, I can see the thing there. Right, that opens and shuts the grip. That's arm and twist. And that's left and right and up and down. Oh, well, that's easy then. No, like I thought, it can't be that difficult. In itself, it looks okay. It's just, yeah, it could do the clean up. Can actually do with a bit of paint. Like I said, there's a bit of rust, nothing major. And let's start her up. Sounds sweet, right? Oh, I've got to show you the hour meter. The hour meter. Did I know about this tractor? No, I didn't. There she goes. Runs lovely. Runs lovely. So we need to check fluids, do a service. I'm sure it hasn't had an oil change and stuff like that for quite some while. So the tractor, let me tell you about the tractor. What I wanted was that. What I needed was that. I can't do it. So I'm facing a dilemma. If I want to carry on with me wood yard, I have to have one of those. And I got one of those, but I was told there was a tractor that goes with it. You know, any tractor, just a tractor. Did I know it was a 2254 4-wheel drive, turbocharged? No, I didn't. I didn't know that. These are quite a special and unique tractor, these are. I just needed it to pull the trailer. As it happens, it can do a whole lot more. It can do so much more. And it's got really, really low hours from new. It's just been neglected. So you're going to see a lot more of this. We're going to start getting into this. I suppose I should learn how to spring. There's a bird or a butterfly or something that's moving. It's a bird. It's a bird. It's birds. You can't go through there. Anyway, this is like all my Christmases at once, this is. I can't tell you what a struggle it's been to get this far. So I'll show you how far we've come. Right, you've all seen this. That's what I brought everything in this winter on. We've gone from that to that. Me and this to that. Anyway, like I say, I'm not getting into the wheres and the why-fors and the hows. It was complex and there was many people involved, and I'm very grateful to all of those people. Tremendously grateful to all of those people. But we have got it, and we've got to get down the road next week and start getting this wood on, because it's already on the floor. And as you can see, right, the snow's going fast, real fast. So do I want to find out how to operate this crane and see if we've got any problems with that before we unhook it from the tractor and get into the tractor? Yeah, why not? Let's do that. Let's see if we can operate it. Do I need something to pick up? And let's just see if we can get it running first, because all I've done is hook the trailer up, hook the hydraulic pipes up, and it was on a log, so of course when I lifted it up it just came up, so we don't know if it works. Well, of course it works, he said it works, but he ain't used it. I think it's 11 years since it's been used, so let's see if we can get this pair running. You could learn how to operate that really quickly in a rush. The other thing it's got is hydraulic steering. You can see here, right, it's supposed to turn to allow for manoeuvrability. Now these two hydraulic hoses here, this one and this one, these are for the steering. This one's the pump and the crane. I'll show you what we got in here. Very basic dials, water temperature, fuel, washers, wipers, no, not quite sure what all of these do yet. Cigarette lighter's missing, that's no good, is it? Is it up there? No. Anyway, what we do is we put the trailer over in the corner there, and then we'll unhook it and get into this tractor, because it's got no brakes. Right, I don't know why it's got no brakes, but it's got no brakes. Now, I don't know, and I genuinely don't know, whether I can put the legs down and drop it on the legs and disconnect the hydraulics. It was sitting on a block, and I don't know why. So I'd like to think I could put the legs down and drop it. Hydraulic oil in here. Right, these are for the steering. So I'm not sure if we've actually connected into the steering on these. There's the oilet. That's where that's coming from. That means that's not seating correctly on the hydraulic steering. Right, let's hook them up out the way. And then this one next, I'm guessing. Okay, you also lose a bit of hydraulic oil there. I don't know if that's normal or not. And then this one. Okay, and it hasn't collapsed. Well, that's good. Right, so you can see we're disconnected from the ring there, and it's standing on its own legs, which is really good. Now, I'm assuming, in case we've got a leak, I can see a just in case's leg. Right, stops it from going all the way on the ground. So let's put the just in case's leg down. Well, how's that going to work? That's not going to work at all, Simon. Right, like that. Okay. So if we do lose any pressure, it won't sit on the floor. Alright. Okay, let's pull the tractor off then, and we can start working on this. So there's that disattached. That's what we needed. What that's going to do is that's going to prevent further surgeries, I hope, because my surgeon already told me, don't damage it again. Anyway, so whilst parking this up ready to dive into it, and the first thing I was going to dive into is the brakes came back. You know, I forgot to pick up the linkage arm. You shouldn't drive around with that hanging down. Anyway, so yeah, the brakes just came back. Right, that's better. Hang on. Where was I? So as I was parking it up, it felt like it had brakes, and I pumped the pedal really hard a few times and the brakes come back, and you can see that stopped. So one of my concerns was it didn't have any brakes, and it's obviously just because it's been sitting. Do you know what's interesting is the size of this axle, right? and what a small shaft that is. I think we'll dig into fluids first. That's the engine heater outlet. I don't know. Now I've got to go back and see the man because this comes with chains which I didn't pick up. It also allegedly comes with a ditching bucket. Well, in the contract it says it comes with a ditching bucket. And I need the heater. Yeah, fascinating. That don't smell like diesel. It's been running all right, but that's varnish. I can't tell you how old that is. Yeah, right, well, we either need to mix a lot of fresh stuff in that or have that out, although it's running. They do run on, you know, old stuff. Well, how chuffed am I? I'm even more chuffed now the brakes are working. I was like, oh, well, really? Considering the deal I got, should I be worried about the brakes? No, I'm definitely not worried about the tyres. The tyres have to be replaced. I'm not sure quite. I'm going to have to work on that one. But, yeah, let's get into it. I don't even know if this is going to show up. Anyway, this linkage back in there is sat on a kind of a U-plate. And the whole plate is loose and it's all moving around. So it does a lot without actually doing anything. And the only way we seem to be able to get in here is by removing this whole rear plate. So I think that's what we have to do, is we actually have to remove this back plate. It seems very big and thick. I don't know if there's an outer plate goes on that. There's a lot of things attached to it. Anyway, that's going to be one of our first ports of call. So what the plan is, pull out the dipstick, make sure we've got enough oil, check the water, make sure we've got enough water, take out the air filter and clean that. It needs an oil filter and it clearly needs diesel filters. There's going to be a problem with some of that as I can't get them now. Yeah, I'm going to inspect the oil first. And the other problem we seem to have is I do have the instruction manual here. Right, I do have the instruction manual here, which is really useful. Now, when we get to so I think, like on the other Volvos I've worked on, the gearbox and the hydraulic system is the same. Anyway, this is the gearbox and hydraulic filter, which we need to change. But the dipstick for the hydraulic system, it shows there right next to the filter. So there's the filter, there's the pipes, and there's the dipstick. So we transfer that to there. There's the filter housing. There's the pipes. Oh no dipstick. It's been capped off, closed off with some makeshift something. So we've got no idea how much hydraulic oil this has got in it, because the dipstick isn't there anymore. So I'm surprised to see that. So whether that got broke off or what it is, but it's been capped off. So there is no dipstick. That's a nuisance. And then I go to the back here, and this had some adaptations. Obviously when it was almost new. Where this is how you would have filled the hydraulic system, but it's got this been installed to run the crane. So this has obviously done 30 years ago, is what I'm saying. It's not new. There used to be a big bolt on there. That's where you fill up the hydraulics, and now it's got that on it. So I'm assuming this here, you can just take this off, assumption being anyway, you can just take this off and fill from there. But it does mean I don't actually know how much hydraulic fluid it's got in it. Then we go back round here. I suppose the obvious thing to do first, dipstick should be down there somewhere. There it is. It's got enough oil in it. No, that doesn't smell very good. It doesn't smell very good at all. Yeah, it's not new. It's seen worse. There's no signs of water. No signs of water in the oil. Okay. Right, never good. Has it got water in it? Oh, it's got something in it. Anyway, it's been sat outside in the winters for years and years and years, so I'm assuming it's got enough glycol in it, otherwise it wouldn't be there. So we're going to top that off with glycol, top that off with more glycol, make sure we ain't got no grit in there, got a leak in there. So it's got oil and water, definitely needs an oil change, which is really easy. Definitely needs an oil filter, definitely needs diesel filters. And I'm going to assuming, looking at the age and state of that and those, that it's never had a hydraulic filter, which is in that big housing there. And it looks like you drain the hydraulics in 3 different places. There, there and there. That's what I would say. Oh, it looks like you've got another one there. Okay. So we've got a number of drain points to drain the hydraulic system completely. We'll refresh the hydraulic oil. That's interesting. How do you change the hydraulic oil in the trailer? I actually come around here to look at it then, and it's not, it's over there, look. Okay. So this isn't a leak. This has come out of these. So one would expect them to need cleaning. Yeah, I can see dirt in there. We'll get in there and clean all those out. We'll clean all this off. It's a bit too early to turn the outside water on, which is obviously drained for the winter. And that's the remnants of the winter there. Not a lot left. Anyway, we're still getting minus figures at night. It might be a bit too early to put the water on, but I could liven it up and then just drain it down again. Okay, so there's hydraulics. So this gear plate, I wish you could see in there, because you would see exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, you can just about. Anyway, there's a plate at the back there, it's all loose. We've got to do that. What's this? Oh, Brucey bonus. Tools. And there's no point in going in from the front from this bit of plastic, because I can't get behind that, so I've got to take that plate off. Okay, we're wet in now. And the other thing, I suppose... Oh no, that hasn't been off in a long time. Right. Okay, there we go. So that's going to do us for today. As it's now Saturday and it's late and I've had enough, even though I want to carry on. So we're going to dig into getting this starting to do all the servicing and greasing up. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what we're doing about filters and oils yet. There's nothing I've got oils. I can change oils, but I can't change filters. And we need to know how much the hydraulics have got in there, because I'm only going to be able to do a reasonable amount on this, and it's got to go to that site. I can't mess around. It might have to go to work. We'll do the oil changes, but it might have to go to work like it is on that particular site to get that wood back here. Otherwise we won't get it split and dried, and the clock is ticking. So, and my other problem is these. They just don't look. Oh yeah, the original Goodyears. They don't look like they're going to do a few highway miles, those, and they've got to do it to get it. I thought the tractor was smaller. It looked quite small when I saw it in the trees, and I thought it would go on the trailer and we could just haul them down there, but we're not going to be able to. That's going to have to drive itself. Yeah. Did I manage to achieve all of this just with a cold water jet wash? Hey, that would be ridiculous. Did it take an hour? No, that would be ridiculous. 4 hours. 4 hours, and the moss and the lichen and the other stuff that was up on the roof and the top, and the years of grease and oil. Anyway, it's all off. 95% off and clean, and we can see the Bollinger Monk 2 engine is green as it should be, albeit there's a bit of brown there, and it's clean, so the mess is off. So I want to leave that a minute for like the alternator, generator, all that stuff just to dry out. While we do, we'll make a start on the engine. So this is a 4-cylinder diesel. Came out the factory 16th of June 1976. How do I know that? Because it's inscribed on the block the other side. So it's a 76 Bollinger Monk, so I know exactly where I am. I've got one new diesel filter. I'm not sure if I've got 2 in stock. Be really handy if I did, because I could change those. Oil filter, I'm pretty sure I haven't, but I'm not sure. And I've taken the outer sleeve off of that. So this one, it's a little dirty, but it's not bad. But this one, I know, that's bad. That is. That's really bad. That's not been changed for a long time. That's no use. But I've got one of these on the shelf, because pretty much everything runs a Bollinger Monk 2 engine here. Pretty much everything's a Volvo. So I'm hoping. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There we go. Right, that saved us a few quid. Let's go and clean this. Right, I've blown that out. So, we're good with our outer filter. It's not too bad, the inner filter. I suspect this one's been changed, but the inner filter, I don't suspect it's been changed. Right, so that's the air filter, so that's got a new inner, and then what we've done, what do I keep thinking something's, and we've blown out the outer, so I'm happy with that, that's good. It's old, it ain't got no diesel or any water in it, which is good. Oh no, it's not over full. Look at that, exactly right. We're going to drop that. But I might go and have a look and see if I've got an oil filter for it. Because I don't really want to drop the oil without changing the filter, and see if I've got one of these, see if I've got another one. And the electrics, we got to dig into the electrics as well, because whilst the brakes are working now, none of the electrics seem to work. So, I'm going to get some glycol. So the one diesel filter I did have was the wrong one, and I don't have an oil filter. So we're going to leave the diesel filters and leave the oil filter alone, and we're going to leave the oil alone. I've got enough glycol here to top this off, I hope. Have a look in there and see where we are with that. Oh yeah, that's right at the top. Right. So we've topped the water off, and the oil level's good. It just needs a change in the oil filter. And that inner air filter, that was really bad. That needed doing differently. Okay. So we're going to do all the greasing up, but also, well, we've got no electrics, nothing works. I've got to put that back on the headlight. There's no electrics working. And this button is stuck in, which means the door don't shut. And what I have done is, again, lying around from all the stuff I collect. Now I know it's not right, but it is a mirror, and there wasn't one there before. So we've got the mirror on. We need to go and get some grease and oils, penetrating oil, release oil. And now it's all clean, we can see where and what and if there are any leaks. Before, this was just a mass of grease and you couldn't see anything, nothing at all. And now we can see. And also I've cleaned all these out, so I don't know if there was dirt in there causing hydraulic oil to leak when I took the pipes off, or whether that's normal. I don't remember it being normal. Anyway, go and get some bits and pieces that we need. We have here the grease nipple positions, which I was wondering about, right, if they was all in there, and they are. Now, it gives you intervals on hours, 25 hours, 50 hours, 100. Well, obviously, we're going to do everything. We're going to do every single grease nipple and joint that is on this page. And that's what we're going to do next. There is a hydraulic leak there. I just don't know where it's coming from yet. Oh, might want to put some gear oil in that, eh? I wonder if we empty it out. Real idea of when or if this has ever been changed. Oh my goodness me. I've seen worse. I've seen a lot worse. That's the front axle done. So we know that's topped off, because when the oil comes back out, we know we're at the right level. Okay, so we're on to electrics now, and there's a lot of electrics that don't work. So there's got to be an additional problem that makes most of the electrics work. So we've greased everything up, and give a decent earth. Yeah, we've got power there and there. And there. Right, so there's no power with the ignition turned on. There is there. No. So there's no power to that whole bottom section, which deals with the front lights. That would make sense, because we've got no lights. So all of that is dead. Power at the top. But not enough. I've been messing around with the electrics now for about an hour, and I've actually had all this off. The problem seems to be it's got a replacement ignition, and there doesn't seem to be accessory power to the lower bank. I did find another problem there, which I've solved. However, it's going to freeze again tonight, as it does every night at this time of year, and I need to empty all the water lines. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go over and get the trailer, bring the trailer back, start cleaning that up and grease that up, and we'll work on the electrics and the wobbly gear stick, gear selector. tomorrow. Right, let's go and get the tractor. Trailer. It's only the second time I've driven this with the trailer on, so understanding what the different valves do for the different reasons on the hydraulics, that's a new one, because the tractor manual will tell you what the levers do on various hydraulic valves, but that's been adapted to take the trailer, so it's a learning curve. Here we go. Oh, that's that cleaned. Oh, the build-up of muck on it. Anyway, it looks much better now. Much better. But I think it's got a lot of grease nipples on that. So, next job is to grease all this up. Now, I've just noticed that. Look at that. Oh. I think I might want to check the wheel bearings. How the others like it. Yep. Oh dear. Right. Add that job to the list. Good beautiful morning. The dog thinks I'm talking to somebody. No, we haven't skipped time zones. It's quite a special day today for many reasons. Firstly, the hoodie comes off. Secondly, it's because it's the 1st of May. I don't know what the time is. It's early in the morning. I was editing until 1 o'clock this morning. Finished editing, got up, realised there was no darkness. And we're not into 24 hours of sunlight, but there's no darkness, there's no night time. It was just gloom. So that's good, that's 1st of May. As you can see, the snow is definitely going. You know, we've got patches of forest here now. So all is good. I've just got to go and do my friend's check-ins. I'm having to do them twice a day. She had an operation on her eye, a minor thing, removed a slice of her brain or something. Anyway, we've got chicks coming, and she can't go into the chicken pen or go anywhere near the chicken. She's got to keep her eye clean and stay away from dirt and dust. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to look at that, gravel. And then we're going to get into them wheel bearings. I just want to have a quick look at them. It's really easy to forget what you struggled through to get where you are. Behind me, what you can see, that's last year's. So all winter you've seen me struggle through this thinning and cutting, pulling everything out on the sled. Well, I don't really need to do that anymore, obviously. But look at the results. I've never seen through there. I've never seen through there. And you can even stood here, right at the edge of the property. You can see all the way to the mountain. And you've never been able to see that. It's impenetrable. So there's a lot of clearing up to do, of course. Well, I don't need to do that in the way I did it before. I can bring the tractor and trailer now, pick it up with a claw, dump it all into one big pile. Yeah, fascinating. I thought I'd have a little walk over here just to see how good it is. You notice here, when I cut all this, there was very little pine or fir, whereas there's a lot on this side. So I've never been able to look through here and see that view. Never. Stunning. Right, wheel bearings I suppose. Let's go and look at them wheel bearings. That's the cockerel making more chickens. How many chicks are there? 5. 5 little chicks. So they'll be moving soon from where they are into another cage and going in with the big chickens. And hopefully out of those 5 we get at least 2 hens. Be nice to get 3, be nice to get 5. But there seems to be a lot of roosters for some reason. Look at that. The results of our labour. Very nice. Very, very nice. So, and the creek that we've crossed many times, I will just show you that. You might be interested. You might not be interested. So you can see the clearing up there on the mountain. That's where you see the bear. And that ridge runs all the way along through here. Now, might not look much like a mountain. We are really high. We are really high. We are really high to start with. So I'm going to show you, we can call that a mountain and not a hill. Okay, let's have a look at the creek, because that's flowing now. It's overflowing. It always comes over the bridge before it goes under. So this was our snow trail. So what you can see there is not the bottom of the creek. Right, that's the field. That's the bridge. The bottom of the creek is way down under all that ice. Very nice. Very nice. Anyway, enough of that. Wheel bearings. Probably going to need a box spanner for this, really. Yeah, I'm not going to get on it with that. probably work if it weren't so badly recessed. Well, that's not the best repair in the world, but it's better than it was. Right, I'm going to have to give up on those. I've got nothing to get them off, but the aluminium is so thin, I'm going to damage them. So I'm going to have to get something for that. Yeah, I can't get them off. I need a box spanner. Otherwise I'm going to damage the aluminium cap. That'll allow water in and that'll be the bearing gone anyway. Right, well, looks like we're back onto electrics then. Oh, I've got a right mess here. Looks like I've got to take this outer housing off because none of these switches are working. And we've got all this and it's got bits of tape round it, and you know, I'm assuming that's live underneath there. And this one, and anyway, I've got to disassemble. What did he do? Somebody's favourite new toy, thanks to Heath. Well, I'm 3 hours into this. Auto electrics. You gotta love them, right? Especially when somebody else has been in there and just about got working what they need, and never mind about anything else. And then that on top, how long it's been sat. Well, what have I achieved in 3 hours? Well, I've got a windscreen wiper working. It's completely the wrong windscreen wiper. It's completely the wrong size. It's a replacement motor, generic kind of. Does it work? Yeah, works, kind of. So I'm into it. Let me show you what we got working. Right. I'm not sure that's right at all. Anyway. So now, if there's any chance of getting heat, we need a fan. Right. Oh man, the fan. So I've got the battery on charge. There should be 2 batteries in there. There's only one. Okay. So this is the fan housing, and there's been some kind of fire. Yep. There's definitely been some kind of minor fire here or something. Anyway. So I've dug into the fan, and when I put direct power to this end, right, I can hear a clicking in there. So I've taken off the hose, right, and we can see a yellow fan in there, and I've managed to get it spinning. It was jammed up solid in there. So now I'm hoping, right, we can test that by taking a bit of wire, sticking one end in there, like so, and then, so this should have 12 volts on it. Right, you want to lick that because it's good for you. And then we take the other end of the socket here and we apply electricity, and we see if we can get that fan running. Well, this is always interesting when you... Oh, stick that in there. Oh yes. There we go. That's the fan on high speed. And that's the fan on low speed. Middle one's the low speed. Right, now this one, that third one there, that is for the washers. So that pump in there, that's US, because where we stick the thing in there, we're not getting anything, that's dead. Slow speed fan. High speed fan. Okay. Now then, that's supplying direct power from the battery. And then our high speed. Right. We appear to have power from both of those. So if I connect these up. Fan off. Yes. Right. So that's that one fixed. That's that one fixed. Right, oh, we're on to lights. That's the next one. Okay, let's put all this back together. So we're getting there slowly. One thing at a time, one thing at a time. 3 hours, I've got the wipers going, now I've got the fan going. So we put the fan housing back on there. Fan tube back on there. I think we might want to do something with all this really bad wire in here. And then we're on to lights. Did I get bored? Mark done. Mark got bored. Mark decided that I'd got so far and I should take it on a road trip. Obviously, why wouldn't you? How did I do with the electrics? I've got everything working except the indicators and the horn. Well, that's not bad, really. Lights all work, fan all works. Have I got heat in the cab? Oh yeah. But I've got to make a list because I'm going to town tomorrow to get the filters, and I haven't, there's a bit of tape over the light. Right, that's because it's sticking. That'll be all right, give it a couple of hours. I've got a leak down there from the front axle. Something for me to look at. But when you clean it all off like this, any oil or anything that materialises, you'll see straight away. And we're looking good. The fuel gauge works, so I filled it up with diesel. And we know that works. The temperature gauge works, although we don't know the temperature, of course, of the engine. And we came down here at a fair old lick. About 30 minutes I've been driving it. The tyres haven't blown up, which is quite good. And now we're going to turn it around and drive 30 minutes back. That's stunning. Lovely. Right. So what I don't know is whether the front axle's always leaking and that's why it didn't have much oil in it. That's what we don't know. There's obviously a seal in there somewhere that's gone. But anyway, seems to run all right. Let's take it back. What's quite cool about this is I've got doors, obviously, and I've got heat. The heater's working. I'll turn the fan off because that makes quite a noise. I'll turn it on. You might be able to hear that, you might not be. And the lights work. Horn's still not working. Indicator's still not working. But it seems to be running quite cold. The temperature is telling me it's run quite cold. And the fuel tank is not reading hard full, it's reading 3/4. So that means we ain't lost a quarter tank of diesel. Although, apparently this is a 28 gallon tank. and it was saying it was about half full. Well, I only put 4 gallons in it, so that don't fill it up, so that would be about right. If it's a 28 gallon tank and it's reading half full and I put 4 gallons in it, or 5 gallons I put in it, and it's reading just under 3/4 full, which would probably make that gauge quite accurate. Right. And the view is quite nice, and the mirrors help, and the seat's bouncy. The seat is bouncy. It's going to be bouncy and it's going to be loud. View's nice, eh? What I'd say is I think I've had a bit of a result. That's what I'd say. to leave the video there now because I've got to change the winter studded tyres on the van, winter studded wheels on the van to the summer ones in preparation for going to town early tomorrow morning. It is May the 1st, bank holiday. I spent my entire weekend prepping that tractor, ready to go to work this week. Not quite sure what I'm doing about the back tyres. I'm having a dilemma over that one because, firstly, I don't suppose I can get my hands on them very quickly, and secondly, I don't suppose I can afford them either. There's probably going to be a bit of a stretch right just at the minute. But I have just driven that for an hour, and it's hard to say exactly how much diesel that used because it's slopping about in the tank and therefore, you know, the gauge floats about. Anyway, we're going to change the wheels and the tyres on the van and we'll call it a day. Thank you all for watching. If you like the content, give it a thumbs up. At least then I know that I'm along the right tracks. If you're not subscribed, consider that because it don't do any harm, but it really helps me and the channel out. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.